Seth Halston is a beautiful woman who can shine a light into even the darkest of worlds. Anyone would be lucky to be with her, and you guys need to stop this madness before you ruin the best sci-fi show to boldly go since Star Trek.
Right, Lieutenant Alara Katan, our Chief of Security.
Yes, sir.
You're Selayan, right?
I am, sir.
From the pilot episode, Old Wounds, when we first met the no-eyebrowed version of Alara, all the way to Season 2, Episode 3, Home, where we all gave our goodbyes as she went back home to mend her relationship with her family. We really got to know Alara Katan better than most characters on the Orville, and at least for me, she has a very special place in my heart. Because it was only the second episode of the Orville, Command Performance, where Alara has to push through her insecurities to take command of the ship and rally the crew to go forth deep into enemy territories against the Admiral's wishes, by the way, to save Ed and Kelly from the Caliban, that I realized that the Orville is the show I've been waiting years for, to finally bring back that Gene Roddenberry style for telling socially relevant science fiction stories taking place in a utopian future where mankind has put aside their differences to boldly go where no one has gone before. I emotionally got invested in the Orville due to Alara Katan's plight to overcome herself for the betterment of her crew and start on the path to becoming a leader. And over the years, she has always been a hot topic amongst all Orville fan discussions, even though she left the show at the beginning of Season 2 and was essentially replaced by another dark-haired, similarly built Selayan security chief, Tala Kiali, played by Jessica Zor. But why did Halston leave the show in the first place? She was incredibly popular with the fans, and some of the best episodes of the series were built around her character. There's been lots of theories and rumors about what happened that caused Halston Sage to leave the show, including the rumor that her and Seth MacFarlane were dating at one point and it just didn't work out, or that Halston was not enjoying the show and wanted to move on to trying to start a movie career back when she started working on that Netflix original movie the last summer. She even had a small role in Dark Phoenix as Dazzler. But the reason Alara Katan was written off the show and replaced with Tala Kiali turns out to be a very simple one, and it actually makes a lot of sense to me after all is said and done. Check it. Halston was originally cast to play Alara, okay? This very young, physically strong but emotionally insecure character who is in a position aboard the Orville that she feels she might not be worthy of. And Halston Sage was perfect for this role, okay? That's why they cast her. She was great. One of the reasons we love Alara so much is because how Halston portrayed her. The series began to evolve and change over the course of that first season. It started off as a sci-fi comedy, but quickly began dealing with very serious storylines and situations, and it started to distance itself a bit from the levity of the series, and it began getting real. The real world.
Which sci-fi icon directed the Orville pilot episode Old Wounds that originally aired on September 10th, 2017? Was it A. Jonathan Frakes, B. Brandon Braga, C. Jon Favreau, or D. Robert Duncan McNeil? Don't beam away now, you gotta return to the dance for the answer.
Much like Alara wanted for herself, the Orville as a series began getting more confident in itself and wanted to keep going in that direction, especially in the upcoming season. The writers began seeing the possibilities for the Orville, and having the Chief of Security be a bit rougher around the edges and more experienced was what the series needed going forward. But this is not the character they originally wrote Alara to be, and not the type of character they would have cast Halston Sage to play. They wanted a character that could not only open open up a can of Chilean whoop ass on anyone that gets in her way, but can also have confidence to have some serious confrontations with other characters while still being able to go out dancing with the girls once in a while. They needed a more mature actor to play a more mature character, which isn't what they originally were planning for when they created the series. Halston Sage didn't decide to leave the Orville, you guys. She was asked to leave by the writers. What? Oh God, I can't believe it. No? Okay, I thought there was going to be a bigger reaction to that, but okay. When asked about her departure from the Orville during a panel for her new Fox show, Prodigal Son, Halston said it wasn't about a choice. It was what was best for the show at the time. She also said that she completely trusts the writers and the producers and that everything happens for a reason. She's in great spirits about what happened to her character, and Halston and the show still have a great relationship with each other. They even brought Alara back for a cameo in the season 2 finale, The Road Not Taken. You know, in that alternate Kelly timeline where Kelly messed everything up. Orville executive producer and writer David A. Goodman even said in an interview recently that while Alara will probably never return as a full-time cast member, never say never, I always say, they love Halston, and they love Alara, and are totally up for bringing her back once in a while if it serves the story. So as a fan, I wouldn't take seeing Alara Katan on the Orville again off the table, you guys, because Halston Sage and the Orville writers certainly aren't. I think you'll agree that the show gave Alara an incredibly loving send-off in home. The story was amazing and thought-provoking, and they really took the time to allow Alara to have a full arc as a character and to let not only the fans say goodbye, but the cast as well. Alara's journey is complete. There's really nowhere else for her to go. Now it's Tala's time. Tala's time down here. Jessica Zor has been an incredible addition to the show. She's a total badass, and I feel she adds a much needed new dynamic to the Orville, to the crew. She's strong, she's sassy, she likes to party down, she's confident in her abilities and her job, and plays the holophoner. What? Total package. But that doesn't mean we don't want to check in on Alara once in a while, show, so please bring her back every so often, okay? Because we love her!
Which sci-fi icon directed the Orville pilot episode Old Wounds that originally aired on September 10th, 2017? Jonathan Frakes, Brandon Braga, Jon Favreau, or Robert Duncan McNeil? And the answer is C, Jon Favreau. Though Favreau directed only one episode before later moving on to create The Mandalorian, few individuals had more of an impact on the Orville's success. Creator Seth MacFarlane later called Favreau his conscience while filming the pilot, saying Favreau taught him to trust the writing of the script and to put his fear for the success of the show aside while filming.
Clear that Seth is a huge sci-fi fan, and so we kind of geeked out a little bit over that. And so to deal with a lot of the classic sci-fi tropes and types of storylines with this kind of backdrop where you have that tech look to it, but it still feels kind of hopeful and utopian, it's been a lot of fun.
This should be a really fun trip for all of us.